What happens when humanity's last hope rests in the hands of a battered resistance led by Lieutenant Marcus Kane, facing an unstoppable alien race? You won't believe how one desperate plan to destroy the Zerk command hub turns the tide. But at what cost? The story begins with chaos, a cacophony of explosions echoing through the ravaged streets of Volter's capital city. Lieutenant Marcus Kane moves swiftly among the ruins, his armored boots crunching over shattered glass and charred metal. Around him, the remnants of Earth's resistance fight desperately to hold back waves of Zerk drones descending from the sky like mechanical locusts. Each shot fired by the humans seems futile against the towering alien machines, yet Kane refuses to yield. His voice cuts through the din, rallying his troops with steely determination. In one swift motion, he takes cover behind a crumbling wall, reloading his rifle while scanning the horizon for any sign of weakness in the enemy lines. A young soldier beside him falters, overwhelmed by the sheer scale of destruction around them. Kane places a firm hand on the recruit's shoulder, offering not words of comfort but a silent promise that they will endure together or fall trying. We only just began this journey, but trust me, it's about to get far more intense. Stay tuned to witness how our hero faces even greater challenges ahead. As night falls over the battlefield, the skies above glow eerily with the hum of Zerk energy shields. Kane gathers his team in a makeshift command center carved out of an abandoned subway station. Maps sprawl across a dusty table, marked with red lines indicating enemy positions. Every face in the room bears the weight of countless battles fought and lost. Yet amidst the despair, there is resolve, a flicker of hope that refuses to die. Kane outlines a daring plan: infiltrate the Zerk command hub, hidden deep within the city's core. It's a suicide mission and everyone knows it. But without action, humanity will crumble under the invaders' relentless assault. As arguments erupt over the feasibility of the operation, Kane silences the dissent with a single glare. He doesn't need consensus. He needs obedience. Suddenly, alarms blare outside. The Zerks have discovered their location. The squad scrambles into position, exchanging panicked glances as the first wave of attackers breaches the barricades. Bullets fly, plasma bursts illuminate the darkness, and screams fill the air. We're teetering on the edge of something monumental here. What happens next will change everything. You can't afford to miss it. The firefight rages on, forcing Kane and his team deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels beneath the city. With each step, the stakes grow higher. Supplies dwindle, injuries mount, and morale hangs by a thread. Yet Kane presses forward, driven by memories of those who came before him. Friends, comrades, loved ones, all sacrificed in this endless war. In a narrow corridor, they encounter a lone Zerk scout. Its elongated limbs twitch unnaturally as it scans the surroundings with cold precision. Before anyone can react, Kane lunges forward, tackling the creature to the ground. The two struggle fiercely, man versus monster, until Kane plunges a combat knife into its thorax. Green ichor spills onto the floor, sizzling where it touches the concrete. Breathing heavily, Kane turns to his team. "This is why we fight," he growls. "Every kill brings us closer to victory." Though his words inspire some, others exchange uneasy looks. Doubts linger. Is this truly worth the cost? Emerging from the tunnels, the resistance finds themselves in the shadow of the Zerk command hub, a monolithic structure pulsating with alien energy. Towering spires reach toward the heavens, casting long shadows across the desolate landscape. Kane studies the fortress intently, searching for vulnerabilities. A sudden ambush catches them off guard. Zerk warriors descend upon them like a swarm, their razor-sharp claws slicing through the air. Chaos erupts once more as humans scramble for cover. Amidst the confusion, Kane notices a pattern in the enemy's movements, a flaw in their otherwise flawless coordination. Seizing the opportunity, he orders a retreat to regroup and refine their strategy. Back at a temporary safe house, tensions flare. Some argue that continuing the mission is suicide, while others insist they must press on no matter the cost. Kane listens silently, weighing their concerns before delivering a sobering truth. Failure is not an option. If they falter now, all hope for humanity dies with them. Under the cover of darkness, Kane leads a stealth operation to disable the Zerg perimeter defenses. Moving silently through the wreckage of fallen buildings, the team avoids detection using improvised camouflage made from salvaged materials. Each step feels heavier than the last, the weight of responsibility pressing down on their shoulders. When they finally reach the outer wall of the command hub, disaster strikes. One of their own accidentally triggers a proximity alarm, alerting nearby patrols. Trapped between advancing enemies and the impenetrable barrier, Kane makes a split-second decision. Sacrificing himself as bait, he draws the Zerks away from the group, giving his comrades precious seconds to breach the gate. Bullets whiz past him as he ducks behind rubble, returning fire with deadly accuracy. Just when it seems he might be overrun, reinforcements arrive. An unexpected ally emerges from the shadows, turning the tide of battle. The unexpected ally turns out to be Captain Elena Voss, a former resistance leader presumed dead after a failed assault on a Zerg supply convoy months earlier. Her sudden reappearance is both a shock and a lifeline for Kane's beleaguered team. With her arrival comes not only reinforcements but also critical intelligence about the inner workings of the Zerg command hub. Voss reveals that the structure houses a central AI core controlling the invaders' operations across the planet. If they can destroy it, they might cripple the Zerg forces long enough to give humanity a fighting chance. But there's a catch. The core is protected by layers of automated defenses and elite Zerg warriors known as Sentinels, bioengineered soldiers with enhanced reflexes and combat capabilities. Kane and Voss clash briefly over leadership, their mutual respect tempered by years of separation and differing strategies. Yet the urgency of their mission forces them to set aside old grievances. Together, they devise a new plan. Split the team into two groups, one to create a diversion, the other to infiltrate the core chamber. It's risky, but it's their only shot. As they prepare to move out, Kane takes a moment to address the group. "This isn't just about survival anymore," he says, his voice steady despite the storm brewing inside him. "It's about proving we're still human, still fighters." The words hang heavy in the air, a rallying cry for those who have nothing left to lose. The diversion team launches its attack at dawn, drawing the attention of the Zerg patrols with a series of coordinated strikes along the perimeter. Explosions light up the horizon as Kane's group slips through the chaos undetected. They navigate through narrow service tunnels beneath the command hub, guided by Voss's knowledge of the facility's layout. But the tunnels are far from safe. Automated turrets spring to life without warning, forcing the team to take cover behind crumbling walls. One soldier falls victim to a plasma burst, his scream echoing through the passage before being abruptly silenced. Kane grits his teeth, pushing forward despite the mounting losses. In the midst of the firefight, tensions flare between Kane and Voss once again. She accuses him of recklessness, while he counters that hesitation will cost them the mission. Their argument is cut short when they stumble upon a hidden chamber filled with strange, pulsating pods. Inside each pod lies what appears to be a human captive, their bodies connected to alien machinery via glowing tendrils. What is this?" whispers one of the soldiers, his voice trembling. Kane doesn't answer immediately. He steps closer, examining the pods with a mixture of horror and determination. Whatever these things are, they're proof of the Zerg's true intentions. and another reason to ensure their destruction. Breaking away from the pods, Kane's team finally reaches the entrance to the core chamber. But standing between them and their objective are the Sentinels, towering figures clad in sleek, black armor that seems to absorb light itself. Each movement they make is precise, calculated, almost mechanical. The battle that ensues is brutal and unrelenting. The Sentinels prove to be formidable opponents, their speed and strength overwhelming even the most skilled members of the Resistance. Kane finds himself locked in a desperate struggle with one of the creatures, trading blows in a dance of death. Every strike pushes him closer to his limits, but he refuses to back down. Just when it seems all hope is lost, Voss intervenes, using an EMP device to temporarily disable the Sentinels. Sparks fly as the alien warriors collapse to the ground, their systems overloaded. Seizing the opportunity, Kane leads the charge into the core chamber, where the AI awaits, a massive, pulsating sphere suspended in midair, surrounded by swirling streams of energy. Now or never, Kane mutters under his breath as he plants explosives around the base of the structure. Time slows to a crawl as Kane works to arm the explosives. Around him, the remaining members of his team engage in a fierce rearguard action, holding off waves of Zerg reinforcements determined to stop them. Bullets ricochet off walls, plasma bursts illuminate the room in flashes of green, and the acrid smell of burning metal fills the air. Suddenly, the AI speaks, not in words, but in a series of haunting tones that resonate directly in their minds. Images flood their thoughts, visions of Earth reduced to ash, of humanity enslaved, of entire civilizations erased from existence. For a brief moment, doubt creeps into Kane's mind. Is this truly worth it? Can they really win against such overwhelming odds? But then he remembers the faces of those who believed in him, the ones who entrusted him with the responsibility of leading the resistance. He shakes off the mental intrusion, focusing instead on the task at hand. With a final click, the explosives are armed. "Fall back!" Kane shouts, signaling the retreat. As the team races toward the exit, the AI unleashes one last desperate gambit, sending a surge of energy through the chamber that threatens to collapse the entire structure. The explosion rocks the command hub, sending shockwaves rippling outward across the battlefield. Flames engulf the facility, consuming everything in their path. Kane and his team barely escape, emerging into the harsh sunlight just as the structure collapses behind them. For a moment, there is silence, a fragile calm after the storm. Then, slowly, cheers erupt from the surviving members of the resistance. Against all odds, they've succeeded. The Zerg forces are thrown into disarray, their coordination shattered by the loss of the AI core. But the victory is bittersweet. Too many lives have been lost, too much blood spilled. As Kane surveys the wreckage, his mind turns to the future. This battle may be over, but the war is far from won. The Zergs will regroup, adapt, and return stronger than ever. And when they do, humanity must be ready. Standing beside Voss, Kane raises a clenched fist in defiance. "We live to fight another day," he declares, his voice carrying across the ruined landscape. In the aftermath of the battle, the survivors gather to tend to their wounded and bury their dead. The mood is somber yet resolute, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Stories are shared, sacrifices remembered, and bonds strengthened. Among the group, talk begins to circulate about what comes next. Voss proposes establishing a new base of operations, somewhere remote enough to avoid detection but close enough to strike at the heart of the Zerg occupation. Kane agrees, though privately he wonders if they'll ever truly be free of the invaders. His thoughts are interrupted by the arrival of a scout, bearing news of increased Zerg activity in nearby sectors. They're already mobilizing, the scout reports grimly. If we don't act soon, they'll retake control of the region. Kane nods, steeling himself for the challenges ahead. There's no time to rest, no room for complacency. The resistance has struck a blow, but now they must prepare to defend it or risk losing everything they've fought for. As the resistance sets up camp in the shadow of the fallen command hub, tensions rise among the ranks. Some argue for immediate retaliation, striking while the Zerks are still reeling from their defeat. Others advocate caution, urging the group to consolidate their resources and rebuild their strength. Kane listens to both sides, weighing the risks and rewards of each approach. Ultimately, he decides on a middle ground, small-scale hit-and-run operations designed to harass the enemy while allowing the resistance to regroup. It's a gamble, but one he believes necessary to maintain momentum. The first raid targets a Zerk supply depot, a heavily fortified compound guarded by automated sentries and patrol drones. Under the cover of darkness, Kane leads a team of volunteers into the heart of the facility, disabling security systems and sabotaging key infrastructure. The operation is a success, dealing a significant blow to the invaders' logistics network. Yet even as they celebrate their victory, Kane can't shake the feeling that something is wrong. The Zerks' response has been unusually slow, almost as if they expected the attack. That suspicion is confirmed when the resistance discovers evidence of a mole within their ranks. A cache of classified documents reveals that someone has been feeding information to the Zerks, compromising their operations and endangering countless lives. The revelation sends shockwaves through the group, eroding trust and sowing discord. Kane takes charge of the investigation, determined to root out the traitor before further damage can be done. Suspicion falls on several individuals, including a veteran soldier with ties to the Zerk's homeworld and a tech specialist whose expertise has proven invaluable in past missions. Tensions reach a boiling point during a heated confrontation in the makeshift command center. Accusations fly, tempers flare, and fists are raised. In the chaos, Kane steps forward, his voice cutting through the noise like a blade. "We can't afford to turn on each other," he warns. "Not now. Not when we're so close to turning the tide." Reluctantly, the group agrees to put aside their differences for now. But the question remains: who among them cannot be trusted? With the mole still at large, Kane devises a risky plan to flush them out. He orders a fake raid on a high-value Zerk target, leaking false intel to lure the traitor into revealing themselves. The operation is fraught with danger, requiring absolute secrecy and unwavering discipline from everyone involved. When the trap is sprung, the results are explosive, literally. The traitor attempts to sabotage the mission, triggering a chain reaction that nearly costs the team their lives. In the ensuing chaos, Kane confronts the mole face-to-face, uncovering a shocking truth. The individual was coerced into betraying the resistance, their family held hostage by the Zerks as leverage. Though tempted to mete out justice, Kane shows mercy, recognizing the desperation that drove the betrayal. Instead, he offers the person a chance at redemption, enlisting their help to rescue their loved ones and turn the tables on the Zerks. The decision proves pivotal, strengthening the resolve of the resistance and paving the way for their next major offensive. The final chapter unfolds with the resistance launching a bold assault on a Zerk stronghold deep within enemy territory. Outnumbered and outgunned, they rely on cunning, teamwork, and sheer determination to overcome the odds. Kane leads from the front, his every action inspiring those around him to push beyond their limits. Together, they breach the fortress, battling through wave after wave of enemies until they reach the heart of the installation. There, they discover a horrifying secret. The Zerks are experimenting on captured humans, attempting to create hybrid soldiers capable of adapting to Earth's environment. Fueled by righteous fury, Kane and his team dismantle the lab, freeing the prisoners and destroying the research. As they make their escape, the stronghold collapses behind them, a symbol of humanity's refusal to be extinguished. In the end, Kane stands atop a hill overlooking the battlefield, the rising sun casting long shadows across the land. Though the war is far from over, he knows that as long as people continue to fight for freedom, hope will endure. Stay strong, he tells the camera, addressing the audience directly, because the fight for survival never truly ends, and neither does our determination to win. If you enjoyed this epic tale of courage and sacrifice, don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling stories of humanity's fight against impossible odds.